Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of our Business Analyst Masterclass. Before we jump to today's core topics, let's recap what we covered yesterday to make sure our foundations are rock solid. Yesterday we answered the most critical starting question: what does a business analyst do? We learned that business analysis is essentially the bridge between business stakeholders and the technical engineering team. The business knows what problem needs to be solved, and then the developers know how to build code, but they rarely speak the same language. Now the BA who translates business needs into clear, actionable technical requirements. In terms of topics, what we covered yesterday is: what is business analysis, who is a business analyst, what is a project, what is a process, and what is the relationship between this process and a project. Then also we have covered project life cycle, that is having 5 different steps or phases and deliver a robust solution. Let's look at our roadmap for today's lesson. Today we are going to cover 3 different type of projects: development, maintenance, and enhancement. Then the software development life cycle, which is SDLC. To that we will go back to team structure, how it forms in IT projects, and then we'll touch base Agile as well as Waterfall methodology. But it will also understand what is the difference between these two, Waterfall versus Agile methodologies, how these project frameworks work. At the end, we will look at benefit of Agile and then the primary challenges that we face with Waterfall. Whenever you join a technology project, primarily as a business analyst, then you see there are different types of project that you are going to work with. So the project that you are going to work with will fall any one type of these 3 projects that you see. Number one, the development projects. These are primarily built from scratch, and these are new developments. All new development parts that are converted into a project, and it will definitely be a development project. It could be building a new product, new platform, new services, or building a new experience. If I take an example, then think back when State Bank of India decided to build YONO app for you. Prior to that, there was no single unified mobile application that was combining banking, investment, shopping, loans, everything in one place. So the YONO was developed as a new project, and then the project team had to build the entire system, architecture, security frameworks, database models, and all user interfaces from scratch. As a BA on a new development project, effort is massive because you are defining everything for the very first time. The next type of project is a maintenance project. Once an application gone live, then it requires continuous support to ensure there is zero downtime, fix unexpected bugs and errors that is going to get, apply security patches, maintain system health based on the feedback and usage that the customer are going to use. Let's take an example of the same thing. When we consider SBI's YONO or core banking system, then it runs across thousands of branches nationwide, right? If a branch in any place in India encounters a server timeout during cash reconciliation, or if a mandatory RBI security patch needs to be applied to any of the database server over the weekend, or if you think there is a bug that is not helping you out and that requires to be fixed. So that falls under maintenance. The BA's role here is to focus on understand the incident, what's happening, and then understanding the core of it, understand the whole system of defect, and then the minor operational changes will be carried out. So since you are doing it on a developed project which is currently running, it's part of the maintenance and support. And at the end, the next type of project is enhancement, which means adding new capabilities to your particular system. Here again, the product is already live and stable, but the business wants to introduce some new features to stay competitive or adapt to the market regulations. Again, we'll take the same example. If you remember, there was a time when Government of India launched UPI, right? Which are offline payments for quick product purchase and sales. State Bank of India is not going to build a new banking system altogether from scratch. Instead, they went through an understanding and feasibility of what kind of project inside and impact this particular implementation will have, using which the existing system is going to be integrated through different channels. Now, let's look at the software development lifecycle. SDLC is a step by step structured approach for system development. This is the process using which IT teams primarily deliver a project. In phase one, it is planning and requirement analysis. So, system and teams, they are going to define the goals, understand the feature and functionality, whatever is required for the particular software. They will understand the user needs, and with this, they are going to define the business logics and objectives. The end of this phase, the requirements must be ready and signed off. The next phase is design phase. In this particular phase, architects, they create data flow diagrams, database models. They create the blueprint of the application, and then user interface designs are also created and mapped with the user journeys. So at the end, this particular phase, the software design from a technical perspective, along with all technical documentation, should be ready. The next phase is development or implementation. Under this particular phase, the software is going to be developed, coded, and then different developers are going to work on that. User interface team is going to work on that. The programming team is going to write the logic and programs that will run behind the application. The user interface team is going to decide and design and finally develop the user screens, where user can see, what user can interact with. And this is the phase and this is the phase where the actual developed system is created. In the next phase, it's testing and QA. During this, testing team is going to test the application. They are going to check each of the functionality, security, performance, and any other compliance, just to ensure that when the software is released, then there is no critical bugs or issues or any of the problem that they face. The next phase is deployment, during which the developed software is going to be deployed in the production environment, and by end of this particular phase, users are ready to see the applications. The sixth and last phase of this particular software development life cycle is maintenance and support, which we have already noted earlier. During the maintenance and support, any small bugs or any things, the support team is going to monitor the application in the production environments and see how it is performing, if that is having any bug or any of the problems they face. So during this, they are going to fix all of that, just to ensure that the software runs perfectly fine. Ideally, SDLC is having only 6 phases, but looking at the agile, when you actually take a feedback, understand back-to-back planning sessions, then it's called evaluations, where everything is not known. Let's talk about the structure of IT projects and SDLC roles. One thing just you need to note is software has never been built in isolation. So you work with different cross-functional team, and those teams are divided into these 4 brackets. When you speak more about it, then first one is the leadership team. Leadership team represents the business organization, the organization which is going to develop the product primarily. Along with it, the leadership team also represents the technology team. So leadership and strategy team primarily comes from both of the organization, from the business organization as well as the development organization. The next team is architecture and design. When you think of a blueprint of an application, then you will see the role of architecture and solutioning team. These are the technical team. They select, create, and help primarily the engineering team to understand what requires to be developed. Okay. These teams, they create the blueprint, rough sketches, and most importantly, the rough and immature wireframes. The next team is engineering and development team. Here, the developers, backend developers, front-end developers, full stack developers, user interface developers play a major role, and they create the whole application using their own technology and languages. The last one is covered as quality and operations. So QAs and testers test the application just to ensure that when it goes to the business stakeholders, then there is no error. Under the leadership and strategy team, you will have designation like project manager, scrum master, product owner. These people are actually can take a decision, and that is why they are called as the leadership and strategy team. Under the architecture and design, software architects, UI UX designers, experienced developers play a major role where they design the whole application from a very high level and at the beginning. As you know, engineering and development team, they will have different set of development skill sets, and again they are going to develop, whereas quality is going to test the application before it is delivered. Now let's look at software development methodologies, how a project is executed using the methodologies, and the most importantly, there are two: waterfall and agile. Agile being the mostly used software development methodologies today, and waterfall is something that is earlier used, which was called traditional. So the waterfall methodology is a sequential methodology. So what happens here is each step that you see in your software development life cycle, there are something to do, and all of these activities go sequentially one after another. So in the phase one, the requirements requires to be gathered for all the required feature and functions. Once requirement is gathered for all the features, then it will move to the next step, which is called system design. Similarly, it will be promoted to the next steps once every feature is completes the current step. Let's take an example. Let's say if you have 100 features to develop, and out of 100, if you gather requirement all of them, then it can go from requirement gathering to system design. But if you gather requirement on 99 features, and then one feature which you cannot gather requirement due to certain limitations, then your project really cannot move to the next step. That is why this is called a sequential methodology, and it goes step by step to complete its own process. Next is the agile methodology, which is iterative and incremental process. Agile ideally breaks those 100 different features into small bracket of features or group of features, and then starts delivering those small group of features at one go. If we take the same example, then Agile is going to break these 100 features, let's say for 10 each month. In Waterfall, what you are doing is you are delivering all 100 features of the application at the same time. But in Agile, you start delivering 10 features each month. Agile team is going to focus on delivering these 10 features each with an iteration every month. When the team delivers 10 features each month, the real-time users or your business stakeholders can start using those 10 features that is delivered end of the month. So, repeating the same cycle in Agile, you are going to deliver all those 100 features by delivering 10 features each month. Those month, which is ideally a timeline, is ideally called a sprint in Agile Scrum. So, the primary difference between Agile and Waterfall is Waterfall delivers a single massive release at the end of the project. It could be 1 year, 2 year, depending on the project timeline. And Agile delivers working softwares every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what they are agreeing to as a timeline. Now, let's see the differences between Agile and Waterfall. The delivery model. Under the delivery model, in Waterfall, it is a single release, but in Agile, it's a small releases across 1 to 4 weeks. In Agile, it is easy to handle change because you are delivering small features, 10 features, so that if in case you need to rework on a particular thing, then you don't need to go and repeat your 100 features, but in fact, you will be able to work on those features only. But in Waterfall, it is difficult and expensive because you must go back to the previous step to implement a change. In terms of customer involvement, in Agile, your customer is actually involved at the end of the project when the whole project is delivered. But in Agile, it is delivered frequently. So after each sprint you are going to get a review and feedback, and based on that you really can improve the performance of your project. Agile projects are high risk projects. When your requirement is not stable, not known, expect changes, then it is really very difficult to manage. But in Agile it is easy to manage. Reason being, you are not going to work on all of the features. At the end, documentation is very heavy in waterfall projects. You'll have to follow scope documentation, business requirements, functional requirements, technical requirements and documentations. You'll have to show wireframes, you'll have to show process maps and everything. But in Agile, it requires very minimal documentation. Agile do not really say that you don't really need to document the project requirements. But yes, it focuses on delivering working software rather than complex documentation techniques. So now the challenges of waterfall, as you know, is inability to accept change, which are not flexible enough. The whole project will go in testing phase after everything is developed. So the testing again goes late. The documentation demands a very heavy documentation, and the limited customer involvement makes it challenging when things really goes wrong. The benefits of Agile are it is really flexible to accept change. Reason again is the small waterfall projects that we do here. It will have enhanced collaboration. Reason, you have a product owner, you have a scrum master, you will also have your business stakeholder coming to your sprint to see the project, see the product, see the application and features that you have developed. That is why Agile comes faster in the market, and you can continuously improve your requirements. With this, let's wrap up the episode 2 of our business analysis training. Now there is a task or homework for you. Think about your own banking app. If the bank decides to integrate an AI chatbot for customer support, then let me know in the comments whether that will be a development project, maintenance project, or enhancement project. So today we covered project types, how the SDLC operates from planning to maintenance, and the key player on your IT team. Other than this, we also discussed about waterfall and agile methodologies. In day 3, we are going to take a few more concepts on business analysis, so that makes your learning journey quite easy. With this, if you like the video, please subscribe, hit like, and put your comments and your thoughts if you have any question, or if in case you need me to look at something else and help you together. Thanks again for watching the whole video.